Do you like tag team matches? If so, this is the show for you. 5 matches, all 2-man tag, in the heavyweight classification. Couple juniors sprinkled in, but tagged with heavyweights, they'd be considered a heavy team for any title challenge. And the event will culminate with the defense of both heavyweight 2-on-2 tag titles. So we'll start by revisiting the main event from previous episode. As Team Blue, blue blazer and blue hair, aiming to build on that success by challenging another Iron Mike Sharp, Team Black. Only this time, the old man is tagged with none other than Canada's heavyweight champion, Big Titan. So a chance at redemption for Iron Mike after his defeat. And if the Blues can win again, this time against a higher profile Team Black featuring the champ, would make a good case for Team Blue getting some kind of tag title shot. First into the ring for each team, the 2 men who featured in the finish from previous match. Blue hair, having won with the fire jumping powerbomb over Iron Mike. Match 2. Congrats to Team Satan 3-man edition for their first reign as the 6-tag champions. First title defense will have to wait, however, as Will Stewart, in poor condition, needs rest. As we see in the profile on the right side there. And 'tis not the only title defense to be deferred. Ted Axel, knocked out by a Baron Charles pile driver, in the pants pile driver, if you remember, for the dramatic Fight Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Though defeated was Ted Axel, the match was not one-sided. So you can bet the wise man wants a $50,000 rematch to take revenge against the Baron for tying Ted's 3 defense accolade in the history of the DFW Heavyweight Championship, and to prevent surpassing of that mark by the Baron Charles. So that title should be put on hold pending the return of Mr. Axel. In the meantime, we shall revisit in tag form, Satan's General versus Baron Charles. There you go. Toggle back and forth like that. Both champions. Revisit Satan's General versus Baron Charles from all the way back from year 1, the tournament from episode 7. As Team Green, Ace Matt Gibson will tag with Baron Charles against, as we've seen already, 2 members of Team Satan, the Knight and the General. And being non-title, the General is content to have the Knight start the match and show his bravery. So Midnight Knight will start. The Baron Charles will respond by also deferring and let the Ace begin out of the blue corner. Match 3. Wolf Hawkfield's red body parts call for taking a month off to recover. The remaining 2 of the Team Canada Blue 3-man edition will carry on for the time being as a 2-man. And owing to Owen Miller, the junior champion, needing rest, again poor condition, Shota will have to wait for a junior title rematch. But in the meantime, he will form a team I've wanted to put together for a while now, as Big Mike and Kenny Omega will face Vampiro and Shota, 2 weapon users. Might call them Team Hardcore. We've seen Vampiro use a barbed wire baseball bat. We've seen Shota use a scythe, sickle, comma, whatever you want to call it. It's cool and rather vicious, and it's, should be outlawed. There you go. As the Big Mike Vampiro rivalry renews. Big Mike still sore over having his own finishing move used on him from Canada Day, episode 31, costing his team the 6 tag titles. Speaking of titles, let's get to the title matches. As KO, Kevin Owens, Lionheart, Team Best Friend, will challenge again the Hitman, the Canadian sensation, the 2 Canadian members of Sharpshooter Syndicate. These 2 teams, as we get a representative of both here. There's the chief rivalry within this tag contest. So here's the history of their match evaluations. 98% in January, 100% in February. Could only go down from there, but they didn't go far. 99% in March. So you don't need to be a mathematician to know that that's an average of 99% average over 3 matches. So we're beyond third time's the charm grounds to continue with this. It's continues to be, for my money, a gripping rivalry, especially with all the teamwork on display most recently by Team Best Friend, making the case for contendership to continue. And then the main event for Canada's Tag Team Championship. In blue, Edge and Christian. So you can see Edge improved his trust to C. Lower right of the profile. It was D trust. It's moved up to C. So that is good news for Christian. His bro gonna stick around, presumably. Perhaps the pay raise caused the improvement for Edge. Tough to say for certain, though, because we've seen trust improve on its own before. So it might have gone up anyway. It's anyone's guess. But it does validate my decision to offer pay raises the previous episode. If no one had gone up, I'd be like, oh my god, why did I just... There's some justification there. Oh yeah, I almost overlooked it. Again, who are they facing? A team that needs no introduction. If you know them, you either love them or fear them, but you damn sure ought to respect them because they've been, by a lot, the greatest tag team in the history of this promotion. Okay. Venue. We refer to the right. So just 5 matches this time, so we're back to the smaller urban medium. But towels always sell well in terms of merchandise, so let's get that confirmed. Head on over to management. So we'll still make 10,000 towels. I feel like they sell well enough that we should be able to feel confident that we can make a big run of these. Especially if we find ourselves right back to the larger venue after this. Which, we'll be back there sooner or later. So crank out 10,000 towels. Produce. So also in management. Well, look at that for expenses top right there, 278 782. Fun with numbers. Okay, training center. Just a minor touch up here. Mat work coach. Emphasis on mat. Perhaps it'll help. Matt Gibson improve towards someday getting back to being a champion after his disappointing challenge versus Big Titan. No rematch justifiable there. So get back into the gym and train harder with a restored mat work coach. Put each other in joint locks to raise resilience to joint damage. All right. Believe the last order of business. View title belts as we've done pretty regularly for a while now. There's always some cool thing to mention. Is it over there somewhere? View title belts. Start in the 6 tag. 8th champion, Stanley team. Stanley Adams, Satan's General, now has his name in every heavyweight tag title history, 2-man or 3-man, of the Canada Wrestling Promotion. So about as fine of a leader as we've seen. Speaking of tag, check out the Dramatic Fight Wrestling tag title history. Bret Hart and the Canadian Sensation. A lucky 7 title defenses on this reign, as Sharpshooter Syndicate has truly made this title their own. As we quickly scroll back up the list, you can see nothing is even close. No reign even approaches what the Hitman and the Sensation have accomplished for this belt. So there we go. We are ready to start. April of year 4. Match 1. We just talked about the other 2 members of Sharpshooter Syndicate, the Hitman and the Canadian Sensation. Here's the 3rd member now. Blue Hair, being preceded by the Blue Blazer. Such has been the dominance of Bret Hart and the Canadian Sensation. It's been a while since Sharpshooter Syndicate has competed for the 6 tag. It was just a moment for those 2 Canadians to branch off, and they made good on their opportunity and haven't looked back. So the blue hair is now toiling to try to get his own tag title shot with a different partner. Though he is Canadian, is Blue Blazer. There's a pair of Canadians. Team Canada Black. Mike Sharp, the wily veteran, backs off at first, gives ground only to land the forearm. But Blue Hair comes back authoritatively with the body slam. Very politely allows his opponent back in the ring. Mike Mayer. Dragon Screw Leg Whip. And a Blue Mare in response. Back suplex. And maybe those old arthritis-ridden fingers of Iron Mike not suited to those test of strengths anymore. But you know, he's hanging in there. One more ride, perhaps, in wrestling career. Canada's greatest athlete. Mike Mayer again, but now he's got the other member of Team Blue to contend with. Kick to the, well, let's call it the pelvis for now. You can get away with not referring to the overhead, belly to belly. On the suplex. Sidewalk slam in return. Blue Hair had disrupted Iron Mike's intent to go tag. Made him pay for that. And now, the King of Canada. Big Titan in the ring. Clearly he let himself be backdropped there so that he could land across the Lit Cola main sponsor logo. Just trying to help the sponsor, I'm sure. Bulldog. Sent in motion, but maybe you don't want to send a superhero into motion because that might be right up their alley. Being a charge situation. Heroically charging across the ring. Big Titan working those big shoulders into the buckle. Booting his way through both members.
5 minutes gone.
Of Team Blue. As Team Black is in there now. All 4 men only briefly though. Team Black working together. Just a straight up punch to the face while his opponent is dazed. Whatever works. Iron Mike, who's yet to taste any sort of title gold in this promotion. I figured you'd do just about anything. Dirty tactics, cheap tactics, questionable tactics, whatever it takes. Another punch to the face. So no shortage of clubbing blows and brutality tactics employed by Iron Mike. Eats the dragon screw leg whip. Suplex slam. Suplex into sleeper. A lot of S words. Where's the Canadian sensation when we need him? His matches later. The penultimate. Vertical suplex. Tall vertical suplex. Long drop kick. Body slam. Stays in the ring though. As the Titan drags him toward the middle. Drop kick to the back of the head. Running big boot to the face. Hooks his man 2 count. Blue Hair saved by the Blue Blazer. He retreats to the apron. Now we're deep in blue corner. Dragon screw leg whip. This is probably the last match I'll call for the moment. Probably go to sleep after this. Body slam out of the ring. Big Titan goes out in pursuit, but maybe not the best idea. Eats the guardrail, the guard wall, sorry, on the Irish whip. Trying to fight 2 members of Team Blue, but now it's 2-on-1 in favor of Team Black. And as they end up winning the exchange in the end, Big Titan, you know, despite eating the delayed vertical suplex, he was part of the winning effort as Iron Mike was celebrating, you might have seen. His arm raised to the crowd. Now we got fighting inside and outside. Ooh. Double arm suplex out on the floor.
9,
We had, what was that, a back suplex, German suplex, something like that in the ring.
12,
Reversal on the vertical suplex. Big Titan says, don't try to manhandle me, boy. Wild four-man action there. Two different pairs. A drop kick to the back of the head. The back of my head is is cramped. It's time to go to sleep. Double vertical suplex. Working the shoulders into the turnbuckle there. So maybe not teamwork, but some commonality for moves by Team Canada Black there. They've each done that. Turnbuckle shoulder thing. Clubbing blow. More clubbing blows. But then he eats a snap suplex in return. More of a wrestling move. Imagine that actually do wrestling in a wrestling match. Another over the head, belly to belly suplex. With the double arm in return. Dueling suplexes. Body slams, the Blue Blazers. In or around the Lit Cola main sponsor logo. Slap, punch. Trading strikes. Ultimately won by the champ, but he collapses from exhaustion, perhaps, at the end of all that. Small package, not a bad idea. Try to take someone by surprise. We're far enough into the match that could work. But being in the red corner there, save was made. Hip toss. Well, some sort of shoot takedown by Blue Hair. Another one of those suplex slams. Big Titan trying to rescue his partner from that predicament. Another vertical suplex. Yeah. Drop kicking the dazed opponent. Titan death drop. Also doesn't mind using punches, clubbing blows. Vertical suplex. Big Titan really doing a number on Blue Hair, but sensing that the finish is not forthcoming, decides to get the fresh man in there. Might still be some fighting left. The champ looks like he could use a rest. He's on his way out. Yet another. It's almost like a delayed double arm suplex. There's like a pause partway through. Ooh. Very near fall. As Iron Mike was that close to getting revenge, if you might say. Against Blue Hair for the finish from previous event. I don't know. Do those two need to wrestle each other in singles? Maybe. Blazer with the Blazer Mare. Body slam by Iron Mike. Appeals to the crowd with arms raised as he gives way to the champion. And another double arm suplex. Tries to set his man up for a clothesline, but the agility of the Blazer escaping it. Delayed on the superhero strength there. Blue Blazer. Oh, small package. Absolutely, again, that could be the finish, especially nearly 20 minutes. Small package, especially dangerous now. Because not only are guys... Ooh, exploder suplex, by the way. The finisher, the signature from Big Titan. It's broken up. Just trying to say. Inadvertent collision there. Super bomb, but not the legal combination. That was a pinning maneuver. Power bomb. Crushes his man, but we're in the ropes. Could have been a couple of possible finishes there. But the nature of tag wrestling, there is help. You can potentially be bailed out. Backbreaker. By Iron Mike, but fighting 1-on-2 is always going to be difficult. Powerbomb again. Ugh, again, it's in the ropes though. Not too ring savvy by the champion. Maybe he's not taking this too seriously. It's tag, which is, he's been tag champion, but it was just a brief respite from competing for the heavyweight championship. Maybe he's not taking this non-title match too seriously. Anyway, full Nelson suplex, looking impressive. 2-on-1 though, as Team Black is getting the better. Blue hair, and he'll get Tree of Woe. Ooh, Diamond Cutter. As Blue hair in desperation, trying to hang on there. Eats some knees to the head. Oh, backbreaker over the shoulder. I think we're in the ropes though. We didn't ask for any submission. Man, Team Canada Black is continuously looking like they could be winning this. One extenuating circumstance or another. Mike Sharp appeals to the crowd with the arm. So we have all four fighting outside the ring. That backbreaker submission hold looks pretty nasty. You could just cinch that in. Blue hair eats the guard wall. You just cinch that backbreaker in while it's the legal combination. You might have something. And without the ropes, preferably. Another suplex slam. I think Blue Hair's done that, 3 times? All 4 men? Over 25 minutes. Backbreaker. So Iron Mike Sharp's got 2 different types of backbreakers, you notice. Like the standard, just break the guy over your knee. And then the submission variation. So pretty cool. So another snap suplex. Irish whip. Some sort of flying body press type of attack. Both men wildly missing. Agility on display. Not amounting to anything. Finally, a blow is landed. Big Titan now signaling the crowd. Does he have a finish in mind? Ooh, eats a pile driver for his trouble. Maybe he shouldn't have grandstanded like that. Powerbomb again. Will we finally see a finish? No, we won't, because the breakup is there again. Ooh, backbreaker. Rotating back suplex. But the champion, perhaps realizing we've had so many finishes broken up, you better wait for a more opportune moment. Gets Iron Mike in there. Vertical suplex. All 4 men fighting in the blue part of town. Sidewalk slam. Oh, atomic drop. There's some old school for you. One of those moves you just don't see nowadays in today's wrestling. I think they banned it at some point. I think too many tailbones were getting busted, something or other. Must have been some danger to that move. Must have been injuries, because it was a crowd pleaser. People enjoyed the atomic drop and they phased it out. Bulldog also somewhat old school. There's that backbreaker again. And we have the submission now. The over-the-shoulder backbreaker submission attempt succeeds. Blue hair packs it in. Redemption for Iron Mike. After losing the main event from previous event, he makes good, getting the get back on the finish. So Iron Mike defeats the man who defeated him in previous match. So where do we go from here? I mean, it's a step back. Just as Team Blue was looking like, momentum for a title shot, it gets derailed. Now, if you're Iron Mike, you figure, so where's my title shot then? I don't know. Do we have to do this again? I'm not sure. Does the blue hair Iron Mike Sharp rivalry, which has weirdly become a rivalry I never anticipated, but they've each beaten each other once in tag action. Maybe they got to settle it in singles? I don't know. One thing we know is that Big Titan is not necessarily going to be wanting to continue pursuing tag action. Like, presumably at some point he's going to go back to defending his title. So where does any of this go? We're not sure. Do you have a preference? Leave it in the comments. Otherwise, we'll just see what happens next month. 100% match evaluation to start the card off right. Good job, boys. Match 2, featuring Team Green, two-man edition, which is the only edition we can bring you now. Because if you remember, some months back, the Missing Link retired. He wore the green face paint, and those three, in theory, could have competed for the 6-tag championship. Never happened. Missing Link had some title opportunities. Didn't quite manage to achieve that. And it makes me think about Iron Mike Sharp, because I think I mentioned when we introduced Canada's greatest athlete to this promotion, mentioned that he was trained by the Missing Link. And I believe they're from the same city and they could have made a cool team. And that didn't happen. And I feel like that might have been Iron Mike Sharp's perfect partner. And now I'm still sort of trying to figure out how Iron Mike might take some sort of route to a championship. And I kind of hope he gets a title win of some kind before he ends up retiring on us, because he might. Want to give him some opportunities and try to make it seem like he's earned it. Ideally, you don't gift wrap titles and title matches for people who, where possible, create a sense that they've earned the right to challenge and all that. Meanwhile, is a match which concerns neither of those guys I'm talking about. Maybe I should talk about someone who's in the match right now. Battle right now between a former heavyweight champion of dramatic fight wrestling, Matt Gibson, versus a would-be Canada's heavyweight champion, the Midnight Knight, whose championship aspirations in the singles was rerouted to the 6-tag, but he's had success there, so that's something. Oh, there's that Ric Flair shin breaker. As it only takes me 3.5 minutes to finally call a match. Gonna call a move in the match. Arm twist, shoulder smash technique. Body slam. As the two members of this match who were part of the original tournament, the Baron Charles, Satan's General, mix it up. Look at the agility by the big man as the Baron escapes what was probably a vertical suplex type of
5
predicament.
minutes gone.
All 4 men in the ring. Arm drag takedown. Speaking of talking about old school guys like the Missing Link and Iron Mike Sharp, arm drag takedowns were pretty prevalent back then. Pretty standard opening move that you might do. Often the hero would inflict a move like that on the villain. Kind of exciting energy type move to get the crowd into it early. One man gang slam. And heck, you might argue that a solid knight on horseback could be like a one-man gang, in that he might rout a group of infantry. It's the Midnight Knight. He's in there. What was that? The fireman's carry into the diamond cutter. Fireman's cutter? Anyway, pile driver. We just recently saw the Baron Charles sideline his old frenemy Ted Axel. Pile driver. Running strike off the Irish whip. Back to that arm twist, shoulder smash. The Baron looking to wear down the limb. Oh. Bashing blow down low by Satan's General. Assisted powerbomb. Eye rake, though, to try to change the momentum, slow things down, try to do something about this 2-on-1 Team Green. For the most part, working over that member of Team Satan, but now it's Satan's turn to get the man advantage, 2 against 1. And they deliver their own assisted powerbomb. The numbers game favoring Team Satan. Half Nelson back suplex. Some sort of fireman slam. Wow. Rolling leg drop from the top rope. Interesting go behind roll up attempt there, but doubly useless. We were in the ropes and the ace isn't even legal right now, so for more reasons than one, that was not going to be a pin count. Charge, the nightly charge with the shoulder. Airplane spin. Back to some more old school. Reversal on the Irish whip, but the Baron bowls him over. Oh, and he's dropping his pants. Warren Watson. Does he want any more of that? Of course he doesn't, but resist the temptation to submit, and had to get sat on in the face for his trouble. And the ace celebrates, posing down after the throw out of the ring. Low blow, though. Grandstand at my expense, says Satan's general. As the general has employed employed several iterations of dirty tactics. Forward pile driver there.
1, 2.
2 count. The ace didn't even bother trying to come in there and cover the pin. Just stood around watching while the pin attempt was broken up. We're in the blue corner / green corner. The Baron flies from the top rope, falling fist. Rake of the eyes, shoulder. Interesting combination. Discombobulate your enemy and then run him down while he's trying to regain his bearings. Crossface, chicken wing. Back suplex. Ooh. Pants pile driver. This one was not in the pants. Oh boy. There's that vertical suplex pile driver? Suplex pile driver? Fireman's cutter. Get it called right the first time this time.
1, 2.
2 count only. It was the general's turn to stand by and watch the pin get disrupted. But he looked like he was winded. He looked like he was catching his breath on the apron. I guess he just didn't have it in him to get back in so soon.
2.
The Baron is outside the ring now, having been thrown out. Oh! Back suplex onto the floor. It's 2 against 1 out there. The ace probably wants to get involved.
9.
Looking for an angle to engage. The Phoenix Plex. Wow, another back suplex on the floor. Wow.
13.
Guys are going to get hurt out there.
15.
Now you're going to see another Phoenix Plex. Oh!
14.
Critical outside the ring. Oh boy. Man, last time we saw that happen out there, it was Mr. Stoic. If you've been following in recent months, you know the story of that.
3.
And we have 3 inside the ring. Phoenix Plexes all around. The Midnight Knight standing tall. Knocks a guy clean out outside the ring with Phoenix Plex. Wins by pinfall in the ring. The Midnight Knight looking very impressive. And yeah, his singles championship aspiration's been put on hold, but he's demonstrating that he is. I think he's emerging from the shadow of Team Satan. For a while there, he was just a member of the group and didn't seem to necessarily stand out. But I think he's coming into his own of late. He's demonstrating his individual merit. So hopefully, there's some exciting things for him in the future. Team Satan, plenty of momentum of late. They have the 6 tag championships and then a win here. Over 80% match evaluation. Exciting stuff. Match 3. Last of the non-title tag matches of the event. Beginning with the remainder of Team Canada Blue 3-man edition. Fresh off of having lost the 6-tag championship. And seeing their leader and captain,
Bang!
Wolf Hockfield, feel the bang at the hands of the Midnight Knight. So Big Mike and Kenny Omega, first time as a duo. They've only ever been in a 3-man team, I believe. And what a way to debut as a duo, facing these two, also making their duo debut. The Irredeemable and Vampiro. Two faces of evil, violent evil. Huh. Big Mike going for power early. Vampiro's agility escapes that early trouble. Snap mare, Irish whip. Probably a bad idea. Bigger, stronger Big Mike able to use his size and momentum to knock his opponent down. As he does again, this time with a forearm shot. Again, getting bowled over. Not the most, not the greatest strategy so far by Vampiro. I think he's holding Big Mike's power in contempt. How's that for power? Body slam. Counter kick and then lands the spinning back fist. Pretty impressive combination striking by Big Mike. He's in there against a striker now, at least for the time being, as Shota is opposite him. Shota realizing maybe I'll soften the big man up with some fire before getting into striking. Soften him up or heat him up, I guess. Raise the temperature. Big Mike, to his credit, just quite content to take on both members of Team Hardcore. Didn't shy away from facing a second man before exiting the ring for the first time.
Golden Trigger!
And then teaming up with Kenny Omega, the Golden Trigger, before making his exit. Wow. Counter striking by Kenny Omega. Was that a chop followed by a kick, but then combination striking landed by Shota. But yeah, overall the striking battle being won by Team Canada Blue so far. Ooh, the fire breath tried to time it. Tried to hit Kenny Omega from distance there, but it was narrowly avoided. So we've seen 2 attempts at the fire breath inside of the first 5 minutes. Ooh. Just a barrage of strikes, but you know, better late than never. Big Mike breaks it up. Now Big Mike's getting beat down by strikes. Well, Shota made his point. Used a lot of his solid boxing skills on both members of the opposition. Maybe a bad time, especially for the delayed vertical suplex, as that delay gave Vampiro all the time he needed to break up the move. Sidewalk slam off the Irish whip. Chop. Forearm. Test of striking, Vampiro getting knocked back from the Lit Cola main sponsor logo. Agility on display. Oh. Dirty tactics on display in return. As Big Mike lays there like a corpse after taking that low blow. Running headbutt. And the fire breath finally lands, utilizing the chaos. Big Mike might not even have seen it coming. It was just breathe fire into the mix of humanity and see what happens. And someone got burned. So third time's the charm on fire breathing. Jumping, vertical, suplex. Holding and hitting. Again. Omega fighting back with strikes of his own. Knee to the face. 8 minutes in, pretty spirited affair. Low blow. Now both members of Team Hardcore gone south, let's say. Brutal strikes from the mounted position there. Barrage of knees to the face into the torture grind. Big Mike will make the save. All four men in the ring. Now's a good time for vertical suplex. And the one-winged angel. 2.9 at nearly the 9-minute mark. Not that the time matters that much. Just happened to notice that commonality. Biting. Okay, we've seen blood now. The irredeemable resorting to chewing on his opponent. Omega leaves a puddle of blood behind before he retreats to the apron. Now does Shota. Mike Mayer. Big Mike was quite content. So you want some of this too? And goes after Shota. Who had to get out of there anyway to avoid disqualification. So don't call him a coward. He just didn't want to be DQ'd. And those Alabama slammers, I think that was. And the vampire bat flies. Tornado forearm followed by the frog splash. Turnbuckle frog splash. How about that? For the huge man, the big man. Big Mike's been cast out of the ring. Vampiro calling for the end. Shota's there to save Vampiro. And Kenny is bleeding across the middle of the Lit Cola logo. Just the 2 count there. Oh, we might have been seeing the Elgin bomb there, but again, it's a breakup. Clothesline, however. Running clothesline. 2.9. We've seen 2.9s now. Ew, modified double arm pile driver, I guess you'd call it. Here's that roll up again by surprise. Only 2 count though. Big Mike didn't need the save. Ankle lock applied. Big Mike makes the save. A lot of saving going on in this match. Impaler DDT. Vlad the Impaler DDT. And deep in the blue corner, Vampiro thought not likely to get a finish there, so he goes and gets tagged out. All 4 men in the ring now. Teamwork on the flying kicks. Torture grind just rubbing that blood into the logo. Come on, Big Mike. Clapping. He's trying to get the Canadian crowd into this. You'd suppose the crowd would favor Team Canada Blue. Team Hardcore is only half Canadian. Shota in there right now, Japanese. Haymaker just knocks Kenny flat. Ankle lock submission. And Pyro is in there to cover. Give the submission every chance to be successful. Omega escapes ultimately. Irish whip. Another attempt at fire, but Omega was well wise to it. Not even in the neighborhood, he must have seen it coming. Good anticipation, perhaps. Torture grind, just rubbing more of that blood into the mat. Discus striking. What's better, discus or tornado? You spin like that? I've heard both. feel like tornado sounds like more fun. Sounds more disastrous. Reversal on the Irish Whip. Vampiro showing some of that vampire strength. Falcon Arrow. Oof. Reverse Frankensteiner. Devastating. Looks like he breaks someone's neck. Shota handling both opponents with the striking. Now he's gone to the scythe. He decided Omega wasn't bleeding enough for his taste. Combination strike on Big Mike. Oof. Forward pile driver. Vampire Bat's gonna fly. The headbutt. Oof. Leg drop back of the head. Reversal on the Irish Whip. Clothesline. You have a pin attempt. Can Omega make the cover? No. Shota breaks it up with a kick. The Vampire Bat's gonna fly again. Oof. Devastating headbutt. Big power on display. The press power slam. Awesome move. Awesome power on display with Vampiro. Triple Tough escapes that and escapes the vertical suplex as well. Powering up. The back fist lands again. Power strike by Big Mike. He's charging up. Waiting for his opponent to get up and goes for that running clothesline, but Vampiro sidesteps, gets tagged out. Vampire looked like he might have been meaning to follow up. Omega, to his credit. Oh, you can't escape across his opponents. Stacking up the bodies. Leave some blood behind again. Omega again says, I'm not gonna stand by, let you just punish my partner. Vampiro's in there to head him off. Maximum punishment. Fire breath attempted. Big Mike, not meaning to, got out of the range. Torture grind.
20
Maximum torture as Vampiro cuts it off.
Golden Trigger!
Ugh. Just brutal double knee. Team up knee. It's a better way to do it. Because you could do a double knee yourself if you hit someone with both your knees. So team up knee. Whirlwind, Haymaker, Barrage. And Shota gets out there to induce the 2-on-1. Double drop kick. Oh man. How much blood can Omega be? To be induced to depart with here by Shota. Look at that. Look at the blood. Oh my god. Goodness. Omega has just been shredded up this match. I think this might be his first taste of irredeemable. And the taste tastes like blood. Probably doesn't like it. Makes me feel like maybe they should have a singles match, even though it would be Heavy versus Junior. You'd think that Omega would have beef after all this, and Shota would probably equally say, "Think I'm afraid of anybody?" Shota just strikes me as like one of those crazy guys who just like will fight anybody, and why not with his tactics, with his equalizing tactics, his bloodletting techniques that he uses. In theory, he could face anybody. Not everyone's cool with spilling of their own blood. Big Mike was trying to take advantage of his opponent, but his opponent ceased to be there. Vampiro doing the throat slitting motion. He's going to be the Vampire Bat now. Ooh. Again, that Superfly. Mounted strikes. Omega ultimately breaks it up. Wild 2-on-2 action. And the scythe applied to Big Mike.
1, 2, 3,
Looks like the big man's flesh might have held together. Maybe owing to the fact of just being a bigger, thicker man, maybe more resistant to.
come on.
Come on, he says, but looks like it's going to take more than crowd support. We'll become Team Hardcore,
1,
as it has been a brutal, bloody affair.
3, 2,
I don't know how many saves we've seen and how many save preventions we've seen in this match. I wonder if it's a record. I
2.
think it's been a lot. Press power slam again. Vampiro's gonna make it there to make the breakup. Is that nail in the coffin?
2, 3, 4.
Oof. All 4 men in the ring.
2. Yeah.
Impaler. DDT. Ugh. More brutality inflicted by the irredeemable, more blood on the mat. It's funny, we came into this match, the premise being Vampiro and Big Mike with the rivalry. Look at all the blood over there, my goodness. More throat slitting. We've had enough blood already, Vampiro. Maybe you shouldn't be doing that too. Yeah, I was saying, have we encountered an offshoot rivalry as a result of this team up? Are we going to need to see Kenny Omega versus the irredeemable Shota?
Over.
Clothesline. Is it over? Can it be over? One winged angel.
2.
We see yet another breakup. That's what I'm talking about. It seems like this match can't end. Like anytime someone's ready to go, there's a save. It might have to come down to, oh, fittingly the dead man, the undead man was hit with the reverse Frankensteiner, because Frankensteiner's like kind of an undead guy. Anyway, rock bottom by Vampiro, but Falcon Arrow in return, and we still don't have a finish.
You can't escape.
And apparently Shota can't escape from that. Looks like we're going to get to half an hour on this match. Sit down powerbomb.
2, 3.
We finally have a finish 1 second short of a full half hour. Big Mike. Oh, okay. Shota and Omega facing off at the end. I like that. Maybe these two need to go look at that. They look like they want to continue. Vampiro gets the edge this time. Big Mike is the one who has beef with Vampiro. Vampiro gets the bragging rights this time. Tiger Driver for the finish. 100% match evaluation fittingly, as this was an extensive affair with many near finishes. Plenty of violence, blood. What more could you ask for? I guess you could ask it be for a title, but there's only so many titles. But yeah, this is an exciting new addition to possibly the tag team possibilities. Team Hardcore. Perhaps might want to see them again. Match 4 for Dramatic Fight Wrestling Tag Team Championship. So this rivalry which began with Kevin Owens and Bret Hart over the death of Kevin's cousin. Although this is still a personal rivalry, I think it's transitioned into real competition too, like pure competition, because as we've stated, this match series has had very high match evaluations and is as much about the title, I think, now as it is about things being personal. And speaking of match evaluations, we're at, after 3 matches, 93%, so maintaining a very strong average, including 2 100% matches. And we're on a red sweep so far, 3 for 3 in the red corner. Can the champions hold for the remaining matches in the event? Because that's what it would take for a red sweep. So let's find out, shall we? Lionheart joins KO as team best friend for what is their 4th attempt at this tag team championship. Lionheart leads them in. Speaking of leaders, Bret Hart, the Hitman. Maybe once this tag team rivalry's over, the Hitman might want to challenge Lionheart after the Bloodbath match in December, episode 36, in which Lionheart vanquished the Hitman. The Canadian Sensation joins the Hitman as Dramatic Fight Wrestling Tag Team Champions. The challenge is on. Body slams the big man out of the ring.
1,
Finger wag. It looked like he might have went out there after. He looked like he was going out there after Owens. You know the history. That's where the outside is where the fateful demise of Mr. Stoic occurred. Eye rake. We saw earlier in this event, Ace Matt Gibson, Mr. Stoic's old friend, suffered a critical outside the ring. So where does Gibson go from here? For now, we'll go to 2-on-1 advantage, assisted powerbomb. As the Lionheart going to work in the blue corner. Body slam. The Hitman looked like he was on his way to tagging out. He was cut off. He had to eye rake his way to some breathing room to get the Sensation in there. Now we have an assisted powerbomb on the other side. Seems to me the past couple matches, this has been the finish, these two, right? Canadian Sensation has gotten the finish on Lionheart a couple times in a row, I think. One could go back and review the series if they wanted to. Maybe these two need to branch off into their own singles rivalry. The possibilities are endless. Arm drag takedown. Well, they're not endless. There's only so many guys on the roster. But there's a lot of possibilities, let's just say. There's always new ideas for new combinations of matches. But I don't know what should end this rivalry, because, I mean, if Team Best Friend rolling backsplash from the turnbuckle,
5
high
minutes
flying,
gone.
as Maple lets us know it's been 5 minutes. I mean, should Team Best Friend finally win these tag titles, obviously the, Sharpshooter Syndicate will probably have something to say about rematch. Being long-time champions here. I mean, I guess what might end the rivalry is if we have a decisive finish by the champions, because they've all been close matches so far. If Sharpshooter Syndicate can repel this challenge with authority finally, might be less argument for continued matches. But we'll just have to see how the match plays out. What's the result? What's the argument for continuance? Arm drag takedown by both sides. So both these teams with some appreciation.
Baby.
Classic wrestling. Okay, baby, as Lionheart looks to follow up on his advantage over the Hitman. Man gets tagged out. Lionheart surviving the numbers disadvantage. Looked like he tried to collide the two Sharpshooter Syndicate members together, but they narrowly missed each other. Monkey flip out of the turnbuckle. Why not? Like a dropkick attempted there, but Lionheart thwarted it with a chop, a chest chop. Ooh, looked like KO went for the backdrop, but Sensation with the sensational slide under, escaping that trouble. Circling now, sensational circling. Yeah. Real cat and mouse affair here. Finally, the Sensation gets a hold of him with a body slam, using the big man's weight against him. Vertical suplex across the Lit Cola main sponsor logo. Hart in there, however,
10 minutes gone.
for the breakup. So now we see a back body drop. Owens had been unsuccessful at his attempt earlier. Hart succeeds at his. Assisted powerbomb. I did comment earlier. Swinging neckbreaker that Team Best Friend exhibited some pretty good teamwork from last match. Part of why this is a attractive ongoing rivalry is there's a sense that Team Best Friend might be able to get this done. They've been coming up short, but making it very competitive as they did. We saw this before. Team Satan had a series of challenges against Team Terrible. Lost every time, but there was always a sense that they're in there. They're making it interesting. It's close. Team up on the vertical suplex out of the ring. This time, Hart is not content to go after his man outside and instead takes the time to catch his breath. Pace yourself. Veteran move there by Hart to exhibit patience. Wow. Running lion salt from the turnbuckle. Some of that athletic. Okay, assisted vertical suplex I guess this time, Hart has had the rest he needs.
3, 4,
Doesn't mind fighting outside. This is the place where he
6,
put an end to Mr. Stoic's career and more.
8, 9,
Beating up Lionheart out on the floor. It's becoming almost a specialty, isn't it? Ugh. The Hitman beating people up outside the ring. I don't recall that being his thing in his heyday, but we're seeing it here. Some more of that team best friend teamwork. Wow. KO flies over top of Lionheart as Lionheart's grandstanding for the crowd. Very near fall there. DDT onto Bret Hart. And then a little bit of something to remember me by as Owens rams into the Hitman as Bret is leaving the ring. Save made this time. I mean, here we go again. Team best friend looking good. Swinging neck breaker. I feel like I can already declare. Well, heart attack clothesline. A little bit of homage there to the Hitman by his partner, by his sharpshooter syndicate partner. Delay on the vertical suplex. Wow. I didn't even know. I saw it coming, but I didn't know how to call it. Very interesting teamwork, let's just say. My sharpshooter syndicate. And then teamwork exhibited by team best friend in return. Is that what it's going to come down to? Who can more effectively utilize the 2-against-1 advantage the tag team wrestling affords? Running elbow drop. Arm drag takedown off the Irish whip. Yeah, I already feel like I want to declare win, lose, or draw. We need to see this again because it's been riveting. Even if Team Best Friend doesn't get it done, they've shown what tag team wrestling is. Unprettier.
1, 2.
It's funny. Why would the Canadian sensation do a move like that? Well, maybe the reason why Hawkins wears a mask is because he's got something he'd like to hide. Maybe his face is all damaged from previous violence. Maybe Sensation's trying to visit that upon other wrestlers. I'm just speculating. I've done that before. Speculating about things mask related. And once again, the Sensation gets the victory over Lionheart. That's been the finish. Is it several times in a row? Might that put an end to the rivalry? So that's what's starting to make this seem repetitive for me now. Not the same matchup, but the same finish. Is it 3 in a row? Sensation getting the decision over Lionheart? If it's going to be the same thing, well, maybe we need to change things up. Maybe Jericho and Sensation should branch off on the grounds that Lionheart might say, can you do that to me when it's one-on-one, when it's just mono-y-mono, as opposed to the X factors and the unpredictability of the tag environment. So yeah, thinking about it. Thinking about maybe break this down into singles action. For now, once again, still, yet another title defense for Sharpshooter Syndicate. Dramatic Fight Wrestling's tag team champions. Match 5. The main event for Canada's Tag Team Championship. As you can see in the upper right, Average card rating 90%. Can we hang on to the 90s? The pressure's on Edge and Christian to make that happen. If that seems mean, it's only because Team Terrible is so used to finishing teams early that, you know, it takes a challenger to defy that trend. But seems to me these guys did well against Terrible last event. Enough to justify this rematch. So why shouldn't they have a 90% match valuation? Or better. Man, I guess I should have checked in advance. But did they go half an hour last event? Seems to me that it was pushed past the point that terrible matches tend to go.
Fight.
Chicago Bears football charge just now. Edge, wisely, no be there. Headlock, hip toss, takeover. Irish whip goes for the spinning heel, but just bounces off the bear, who just slaps him down. Terrible Ted. The wrestling bear. Just totally unconcerned with just drifting back into the challenger's corner and eats a body slam out of the ring.
1,
What's going on here? All of a sudden, Terrible looks like they're having some trouble. Well, Ted just determined to try to make that shoot takedown. Very early submission attempt. 2 minutes. Double drop kick. Teamwork absolutely called for. Edge and Christian can pull this off. So ducks under that chop, does Terrible Ted. To shoot in for the takedown, but he finds himself in a guillotine choke, which is one of the Bears' fortes. To have that done against him must have been weird. Double clothesline as we get our first look at Jason, the Terrible. Controlling Christian at this time. Eye poke between the mask holes there. The hockey mask eye holes. And perhaps disoriented Jason just enough to win the test of striking as well. Another sign of hope here in this first nearly 5 minutes. Oh, draped over the top rope.
5 minutes gone.
5 minutes gone, and why not? The challengers. Eye poke again by Christian. Underhanded strategy, but as I've said before, you need to pull out all the stops against Team Terrible, because they do tend to be overwhelming. Double clothesline. Jumping hockey mask headbutt. Rolls his man up. Probably not going to get a 6-minute finish. At least not by pinfall, maybe by submission. Which we've seen the Bear get some quick finishes. Just applying that awesome strength. You don't need to have worn your opponent down that far. If you have Bear strength to apply, just lock him into something you can't get out of. It's just like, it's either I tap or I die. So we're in the challenger corner right now. The bear with some Greco-Roman mat techniques. Tries that Chicago Bears football charge again. Wow, knees to the face, to the head, something like that. Wow. Running dropkick there, but again, just the Bears, like it's like a brick wall striking him. Double clothesline is terrible. Teams up again. More teamwork perhaps exhibited so far by the champions. Jawbreaker, protection from the hockey mask there, so maybe not too much damage. Sidewalk slam. Oh. Some sort of suplex DDT. Jumping headbutt again, hockey mask used as much as a weapon as armor.
10 minutes gone.
Add an extra as and team up on the vertical suplex out of the ring.
1, 2.
Edge is signaling to the crowd, but Jason has grabbed a kendo stick. Didn't look like he necessarily planned to use it. He just wanted to use it as a warning, like as a warding off effect, as he tried to make the tag, which he does succeed at. Down low, more dirty tactics applied by Edge and Christian than you might normally expect. Realizing they got to do everything they can think of, pull out every trick in the book. They're going to pull off this win. Do they have it in them, Edge and Christian, to be tag team champions one more time? What better way to do it than in Canada, our home country? Neck crank, which I guess we weren't going to see a ref break because Edge was not legal, so Christian wise to rescue his partner. Berry to belly suplex just now, or slam. No, what do you call it? Anyway, standing guillotine. Edge not waiting around to see. Oh, he applies the sharpshooter. We have seen it in his profile. Probably a Bret Hart homage. Could make the case for Edge to be added to Sharpshooter Syndicate, if he's going to be doing that. Though it is already a 3-man stable, and that's just enough to make a 6-tag. If we wanted to make it an all-Canadian 3-man team. Anyway, high kick to the head. Hockey mask, though, providing the protection. Spear into the sharpshooter. Pretty impressive combo. Not quite enough to win a tag team championship, however. Pile driver. Center of the ring. Christian not taking any chances, gets the breakup going. And again. Oof. Good lord. It just looks horrible. Maybe it's for the best at the match end. If that's what's going to start happening to people. Normally it's the bear that claps into submission. This time Jason the Terrible. Showing that I can get something done in that ring too. More than one pile driver. Yeah. More of a one-sided title defense this time. Seems to me previous event it was a lot closer. Edge and Christian kind of took the terrible to the limit. Not so much this time. 78% match evaluation. And yeah, look more convincing this time. Edge and Christian got some cheating moves in there to try to set a climate for them to be successful. And some decent success early on, first 5 minutes maybe, but yeah, seems we have our champions clearly. And yeah, less argument for a rematch. Does this open the door for Iron Mike Sharp? You know I want to give him a chance. I talked about it. With the Edge and Christian being rebuffed here, it's there's a case to be made for new challengers. Can Iron Mike ride that momentum? We'll have to see. I'll take a look, see if I can justify that match. Still, Canada's tag team champions, Team Terrible. And we dropped down below 90, 88% average card rating, but that's still very good. And we do have our red sweep. The red corner won all 5 matches, including the title matches, naturally, because they come, champs are in the red corner, so bad news for Blues. Success. So, little less profit than when we were used to, but like I say, we had a smaller event, fewer matches, a little under $2 million profit, but chipping away at being number one. Just another building block, even if it's a bit small. That puts us over $50 million in assets. Sounds good.